Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to the first Tech Help Thursday webinar of the 2016-2017 school year. It sounds so weird to say that. It's just time is flying by. It's no joke when you get older. Time flies. We are here, 2016-2017 school year. Today we're going to be talking about a few different things. Our opening code is ORBIT. ORBIT, and you will need that opening code and the closing code to submit with the homework if you plan on receiving points for this webinar. Our agenda today, we're going to talk about some APH updates. There's been some really exciting releases from APH, some stuff that's going to be coming up in the future that's really, really awesome and incredible, and I wanted to share what I learned with you from AER International this summer about what's coming out from APH. We have some new policies and procedures related to ordering technology that is over $1,000, and I'm going to share that form with you and just show you what it looks like and what we're asking for and why. Then I'm going to open up the forum to you guys to share out success stories with technology, frustrations you're having, and sometimes maybe another district is doing something with that same technology that might be able to help you. So that's kind of why I want to open it up so you can share and collaborate, or maybe I can help you troubleshoot. But you guys are the boots on the ground doing this, so hopefully you have input for other teachers as well. I'll go over the homework assignment real quick, or just remind you that you need to do it. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a few questions. And then the evaluations that we always do at the end to say, hey, does this work for you? Does this not? What else do you want to learn about? And everybody can hear me okay, I'm assuming. I haven't seen anyone say they can't. I want to make sure my volume is adequate. Nobody's typing, so I'm assuming so. Okay, so what's new at APH? Well, at AER International this summer, APH, American Printing House for the Blind, unveiled a few new pieces of technology that I think are going to really change the playing field in our field, and especially in regards to access to tactile graphics and hopefully Braille, meaning impacting Braille production. So the first thing that they released is Braille Blaster, and I will talk more about these particular items in depth over the next few slides. But there was the Braille Blaster, which is Braille translation software. It might be available on Quota, we're not sure yet. There's the Orbit Reader 20, which is an ebook reader and a Braille display. And then there's Graffiti, which is the really big picture in the center here of this PowerPoint. And this is probably about, I would say in person it was probably like 8 by 8 inches, but they plan on having a full page version of this. But basically, it displays tactile graphics instantly, which is amazing, but I'll go more in depth with that in a second. First, we're going to talk about Braille Blaster. So Braille Blaster is a revolutionary new Braille software tool for Braille transcribers and others who need to produce high-quality Braille materials. And I really think this is an exciting product, and even as a teacher of the visually impaired, not just for Braille transcribers. It's supposed to increase Braille production by making it easy to add the formatting needed to produce high quality Braille materials. So for example, if you have something that is labeled table of content or something that is table of contents, you can highlight and select it, press the table of contents button, and voila, you have the Braille formatting necessary right then and there. Instant access, which is pretty incredible. So not only can transcribers, I mean, you still have to have that know-how because technology does mess up, to look at it and say, this isn't formatted 100% right, but teachers can actually produce, instead of just, you know, dirty Braille sometimes that gets produced, you can actually produce higher quality materials. What else is cool is that it will grab all the special symbols out of the Braille text and make a special symbols page. So the transcriber doesn't have to go through and remember to add each special symbol. It will automatically generate that page for you, which is really, really cool. And another cool thing about it is it will take NIMUS files and take all the markup language that's built in there, like a website has hypertext markup language. NIMUS files have their own markup language, so it can grab, you know, what's a heading, what's table of contents, what's a reference. So it will take those tags and automatically format those files, which is really nice and will save a lot of time in Braille production. That's their goal anyway. So they want to start beta testing soon with transcribers across the US. They have a handful of transcribers testing it out now. So please, please, please do check back on the APH website or look for us to say something in a newsletter or on Facebook or Twitter saying, hey, you know, they need Braille transcribers to test these. We really would like some Florida Braille transcribers to be a part of that and provide their input. One question I was asked yesterday by a teacher is, does it do grade relaxing? I do not believe it does, which I know that kind of puts a cramp in it for transcribers that are based at schools and even for teachers of the visually impaired who produce Braille materials. However, if you were to be one of those testers, you could give that kind of feedback. So we really, really encourage you to try and be a part of that. Oh, hello, Cynthia. Welcome. All right. Any questions about Braille Blaster before I move on? No? Okay. Moving on to the next piece of technology. Oh, sorry, just kidding. Here's a screenshot of Braille Blaster. You can get a much better one on the website that is on the slide above this one. But here you can see the NIMUS markup language, then the print in the center, and then the Braille on the right-hand side. So you can have this split screen to see it all. And not only does it do Braille, it also is meant to produce large print books. Okay, if there's no questions about that, I will continue on. So the next thing was the Orbit Reader 20, which is a really pretty incredible device if it works. Price, Rebecca Powers, for Braille Blaster. They do not have a price for that yet, and they're not sure if it'll be offered on Quota yet. That's all to come soon. I think they said they needed testers. Oh, they just said soon. They didn't give us any specific dates or even a general fall or spring. So we will try to keep you guys apprised of that. Okay, so the Orbit Reader 20, which is a 20-cell refreshable Braille display and e-reader. So it can be used as a standalone device, or it can be used as a refreshable Braille display. So it's supposed to be super low cost as well, probably coming in around, hold on, $500. But that's not set in stone yet, but they're anticipating a very low price. I mean, under $1,000 is unheard of for a Braille display. So I think this is big. I think it's quite a big announcement. So anyway, like I said, it can be used as a standalone device for reading and writing. So you can store books on an SD card, pop it into the Orbit 20, and a student could read books on the way home on the bus. You don't need an internet connection. You can just read directly from that SD card. It also does perform simple word processing. So again, homework can be done on the bus and the long car ride home, wherever they may be, if they tag along to brother's soccer practice or whatever. They can do work on that device without being connected to the internet or to via Bluetooth to something with a screen reader. It's all going to pop up on the refreshable Braille part. So, but the word processor is very simple. It doesn't do a whole lot. They didn't go into depth of what that is or what exactly it does, but it's just very simple word processing. So it's probably just straight text. And you can do some file management on it using an SD card. So you could fit a lot of books on an SD card. So that would be nice to have textbooks downloaded from Bookshare and loaded on there. That way they have access to it at any time. Then secondly, you can pair it with a device that has a screen reader with Braille support. So a popular screen reader like JAWS, or a screen reader like VoiceOver on iOS. They can pair with that and then access all of those apps, word processing, email, text messages, using the refreshable Braille display and the screen reader on that particular device, which is pretty awesome, I think. It's expected to be released this fall. Haven't seen anything yet. Hopefully it will be, so fingers crossed. And like I said, this is going to be a relatively inexpensive device comparably. When you look at the Refresh-A-Braille 18, does anybody remember how much a Refresh-A-Braille 18 cost? It's over $1,000. 1,500, you're really close. I believe it is like $1,679 or something like that. I have it on another slide, but it's pretty expensive. So compared to that, this is very cheap. And that's exciting because that helps save quota dollars too. Alrighty, so look for that. And we'll and 2 more cells, absolutely. Anything to increase the cells is wonderful. So very good point, Becky. Why did I call you Rebecca? Because that's what I read. Anyway, all right, so if you want to read more about it and Braille Blaster as well, please download the PowerPoint from the files box up here, and you can click these links. These are active links in the PowerPoint. And then next up was Graffiti. And this just gave us all goosebumps when we heard APH announce this. And they had even like a little red velvet covering on it, and they did like the traditional unveiling. So it was just really exciting. And so what it is it's a tactile graphics display. And you kind of saw the picture earlier. It's an 8x8 device with pens that pop up like a refreshable Braille display, but it has rows and rows and rows of pens. I can't remember the exact rows and columns. But it allows students to access a wide variety of on-screen graphics by touch, including charts, drawings, floor plans, images, and photographs through an array of moving pens. The most unique feature of Graffiti's breakthrough technology is the variable height of each pen, which enables the display of topographical maps and other graphical elements such as gray shades and color represented as varying heights of pens that can be readily sensed by the user's fingers. So one of the things that they showed was like a waving flag is a tactile graphic, and you could see that the pens were lower in one of the waves. So it was really interesting to look at. I didn't get a chance to actually touch it, but I think this is just going to push things in a really interesting direction for instant access to tactile graphics in the classroom, which is really exciting and much needed, because that is one of the biggest challenges for our students, is having instant access to graphics. It's supposed to be able to read bitmaps and JPEGs. They mentioned a few other file extensions that I can't remember now, but anyway, some other things that it's supposed to be able to do is you're supposed to be able to, let me actually here get to some pictures of it so it makes a little more sense. Here we go. So this is the beta version, and that's that smaller version, but they want to make a full page version, so 8.5 by 11. This is just a prototype. This is what they're playing around with to see if things can work. So they just have a simple picture of the pins pushed up to make a square, but it can do much more complex graphics than that. And on the previous slide, it mentions that the student would be able to draw objects directly on it. So I'm not sure if it's going to have kind of the sense of a touchpad, like a a tablet device, and the pins will pop up as the student draws their fingers over the device. How cool is that? You're also supposed to be able to move objects with the pens. Not sure how that all functions, but that's what's supposed to be happening. It's going to be able to connect to computers, tablets, and smartphones. It also will be able to connect to the TI-84 Plus, which I find very exciting, which is the scientific talking graphing calculator. And it will be able to display those graphs on that device. Instant access to graphs. Oh, it's just music to my ears. It's so exciting. That's expected to ship late next year, but they will be looking for beta testers this fall. So if you have students that are using that scientific talking calculator that need access to graphs or maps, please put yourself in as a field tester. I included the link down here. They release all that information in the APH news. We will also be sure to put it in a newsletter or on our Facebook or Twitter, so please be sure you follow us on those social media sites in addition to signing up for our newsletter so that you can be in the know. And you can read more about the graffiti at this link down here, but it's a very exciting device. Does anybody have any questions about it? Anything they want to add? Did anybody get to go to AER International and witness the release themselves? I see Hallie typing. No, sad face. One person. Okay, Kay joined us. Hi, Kay. She's actually right behind me somewhere. There she is. We moved offices, so things are turned around. So Kay was there, and she got to watch this as well. We were all just sitting there just in awe over this device. Very, very exciting. Can't wait to see where they go with it. And I hope that it works. You know, I think this is going to be a game changer for our students. Okay. So again, that's a picture. And it very much looks like the bottom portion of it looks like a Braille display that you would be able to do Braille input on, or a portable note-taking device. So it has the dots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has a directional pad in the center, what looks like a space bar, then maybe some panning buttons. Okay. And so as always, APH wants to hear from teachers. You guys are the ones, boots on the ground, doing this every day. If you have product ideas, they want to hear from you. If you want to field test products, they want you. If you want to provide feedback on current products, you ordered something and it is not what you expected or not functioning how they say it should, let them know. They need to know. They need to hear from you guys who are using it day in and day out. And you can do that directly on their website, on their research and development page, which is aph.org/research. Okay, and so a Quota Funds reminder. Without reading, oh wait, it's not on here. So who knows how much the amount of Quota Funds we receive per student? Joan, ding, 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 ding. Karen, ding, 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 ding. $300. Yes, 300. Cheryl, Kevin, yep. Cynthia, I wish we got 500, but we get $300. And it's not just for each student that's registered, it's for students who are registered that are legally blind. And so what's the acuity for legal blindness? Yep. Yep, exactly, Hallie, Karen, Cheryl, 2,200. Exactly. So think about all the students you have registered who aren't 2,200 too. So it's just for those students who 2200 or worse acuity, or who meet the who function at the definition of blindness according to APH, which is visual performance reduced by brain injury or dysfunction when visual function meets the definition of blindness as determined by an eye care specialist or neurologist. So you think about students who have cortical visual impairment. And they must be enrolled in a formally organized public or private nonprofit educational program of less than college level, your K through 12 students. School-age students must be enrolled with the registering school or agency on the first Monday in January. What do we call that special time? Starts with a C. It's our annual... Karen's typing. Census! Yes, so it's so important that during census you have those updated iMedicals. If they are older than 3 years, we need new ones. It is critical. And Kay's webinar, that's in 2 weeks, I think, she's going to talk about the importance of these iMedicals and how it impacts obtaining federal quota funds. So very, very important that you log into that webinar as well. Let's see, what else was I going to say about this? So we get the $300. It's for students who are 2200. So, and here in Florida, we don't appropriate per district how many students you have registered. We kind of put it into a pot so it benefits everybody in the state. And that's what kind of leads up to what I'm going to say about ordering technology that's over $1,000 through American Printing House for the Blind. So with the unveiling of JAWS and Magic being available through federal quota dollars, it kind of opened our eyes a little bit that, you know, a lot of districts use JAWS and Magic, and it is a very expensive program. And so we don't want to deny access to these programs. We want to make them available for students, but it's going to come with some work and some data that we need to know that that student is going to benefit and use software such as JAWS and Magic. So anything over $1,000, and we know that JAWS and Magic is only $300 a year, but after 4 years, it's the students. That comes to a total of $1,200, so it's quite an investment. And it's an investment on your part as the teacher as well, because you have to renew that subscription. It is up to you. So we wanted to make sure that people were committed because the license is attached to that particular student. It's not something you can switch between students. If that student leaves, it goes with them. It's not something that you keep or your district keeps. It's attached to that student. So we wanted to make sure that these were very data-driven decisions made for the individual student that you're requesting that specific technology for. And it affects the APH Refresher Braille 18, which we discussed earlier is expensive. It's $1,695. And then, as I said, JAWS and Magic Student Edition comes to a total of $1,200. And as I said earlier, we only get quota funds for students who are legally blind or have worse vision than 2200. So Magic provides access for students who have acuities sometimes better than 2200. Maybe they have 2080, 2100, 2150. So as much as we would love to provide Magic for every student with low vision in the state, it's just not possible. And that's the same issue we ran into with the Visio books as well. However, with the Visio books, they are still just available on loan through the professional library for data collection purposes. However, with Magic, as long as you provide us the data, we're happy to provide you with the software. So with that being said, if you downloaded the APH tech form, that's what I'm going to look at now, but I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you so you can see what kind of data we're asking for. Okay, All right, let me, oops, scroll this up. Okay, so this is the APH Assistive Technology over $1,000 request form. So if you're requesting JAWS, Magic, JAWS and Magic, or the Refresher Braille 18, this is a form that you will need to complete. If you fill out one of our APH forms and send it to Kathy, she will send you either to me or send you this form directly. So the data that we collect through this sheet and also the student's age, eye condition, and technology skills will be a part of the consideration for the approval of one of these pieces of technology. So obviously we need the student name, their FIMC number, your name, and the school district. We want to know about, specifically if you're requesting any of the devices, we want to know about their basic computer knowledge. Can anybody tell me what assessments you might be able to pull some of this information from? Somebody's typing. Functional Vision Learning Media Assessment, ECC. Yep, absolutely. When you're looking at the ECC, and it should be a part of your Functional Vision Learning Media Assessment. Absolutely, especially if you do assistive technology assessments, you should be including that in your Functional Vision Learning Media Assessments because it's part of the ECC. So with the refreshable Braille display, we want to know about is the student currently reading materials in Braille, what their reading rate is, what their grade level comprehension is. With JAWS, we want to know that they're able to, are they learning how to access the computer? Where are they at with their computer skills? And what are their listening skills like, most importantly? With Magic, we want to know about how they're accessing the computer visually and what point size they prefer. And you can download JAWS and Magic. You can download trial versions of them. It's the 40-minute demo, so you get to have it forever, but it only lasts 40 minutes. You have to restart your computer. It's a pain, but it works to collect data. And so you can download that to collect any or all of this data that should be included in your functional vision and learning media assessments. In addition to this form, we ask that you send us an iMedical report that's current within 3 years, a current functional vision assessment, and a learning media assessment. You can include any additional information about the student that we may need to know that would come into consideration of whether the student gets approved or not. And then you just have to sign at the bottom saying, yep, I'm going to send you this information, it's all correct, the date, and send it on over to me. And then we will review it and go from there. Does anybody have any questions? And if when you get a chance to look at this form more in depth, sit down and actually go through it, you can feel free to email Kay or I or anybody here with questions about the form or how to obtain these devices. Okay. All right. And like I said, it is available for download at the top of the Files to box here. I'm going to pull back up my PDF. Okay. Oh, and let me just add that we still have the Perkins Smart Brailler and the Visio books available for loan for data collection. I think we're out of Visio books currently, but please, still email us and we can put you on a waiting list and get you one as soon as it comes back in. Okay, and other training we have available currently would be our Bookport Plus and DT online modules. It is very in-depth and thorough. If you feel lost when it comes to the Bookport, this is the perfect online module for you. It takes you through step by step by step, very detailed. So I highly encourage you to go and check it out. It is available on our website under training and online modules. We just finished writing the second part of that module 2, and it covers Bookshare, how to use some of the advanced menu features, and also how to record with the Bookport. So students can use it to go and record class lectures as well, so they can go back maybe over their notes and listen for a good study session. We also have the iPad and JAWS webinars that are recorded and available under this link in the archives. And if you're in the Tampa Bay area and are available next Thursday, September 17th, between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. at Tampa Lighthouse for the Blind, Mike Tyndall from Humanware will be there demonstrating a few new devices. One in particular that's exciting is the Braille, the Braille Note. It's a new Braille Note taker. Braille Note Touch, that's it. I was like, it escaped me. The Braille Note Touch, which is really cool. It's an Android tablet, and with a refreshable Braille display. I've seen it demoed, and I got to witness a student use it. It was really, really cool. The student is a Braille Note user, but going to the touch was a little bit different in how you interact with it. It was really neat to see her kind of make that transition and check it out. You can also access Google Docs on it, which I know a lot of schools are going to, so that's something to consider if your school is using Chromebooks or going Google. I signed up with Lisa K to go. Do I need to contact Lighthouse too? Nope, Donna, you don't. I'm so glad you're going. As long as you contacted Lisa and she knows you're going, that's perfect. So again, that's from 1 to 3 next Thursday, the 17th at Tampa Lighthouse for the Blind. Lisa will also be bringing some other devices to show and demonstrate. But seeing the Braille Note Touch in action is really, really cool if you haven't had a chance to. But email Lisa Kretschmer if you plan on attending. All right, the floor is yours. Any questions, success stories you want to share? Are there any new required web platforms that aren't accessible that you want to talk about? I'm always interested to hear what's happening in school districts with those different types of web-based materials that may or may not be accessible. Don't all type at once. Ooh, that's a good question, Cynthia. I can ask Lisa if that's a possibility. Oh, I just saw that, totally skimmed over it, didn't even notice. So yeah, I can ask Lisa and see if that's a possibility, and I'll email you. Would anybody else be interested in having a live feed of that if I can make it happen? Cool. Okay. Oh. Oh yeah, absolutely, Cynthia. And if you reach out to, does Lisa, I wonder if Lisa covers your area. I can't remember. It'd be Emerald Coast Vision. I know that somebody from Humanware would be happy to come out, and probably Mike Tyndall. He would be a great person to show you guys how to use it. Okay, great. Brandon, Bridget, awesome. Okay, so I will email you guys. Let me see. I should have all your email addresses. So I'll email you if I'm able to make that happen, and I'll send you the meeting room link and all of that good stuff. So stay tuned on that. I hope we can make that a possibility for you guys. I think somebody else had a question about Google. Oh, Kay has a question about what's the news with Google. We know that we've had a lot of counties are going Chromebooks. A lot of them are going to use Google Drive, which is great for sharing and collaborating. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of inaccessibility with a lot of the popular software that's used, such as JAWS and PCs. It's been very troublesome, even on the iPad with VoiceOver. It's been very difficult. What I'm starting to see, and which there's a teleconference next week with AFB that's going to talk about using NVDA, which is another screen reader. It's an open source screen reader. Apparently it works really well with Google Docs. So I'm going to join in on that and see what that's all about. And hopefully I'll have something new to share with you guys about Google applications on the next Tech Help webinar. Are there any districts that have moved to Google this year? See some people typing. Multiple attendees. I'm going to wait for a response. And while I'm waiting to see what you all have to say, I know I talked about APH technology that's over $1,000, but just so you know, we also, through our professional loan library, you are able to check out the APH Refresher Braille 18 with an iPad to collect data. We also have Bluetooth keyboards with that, so that you can look at typing on the iPad, testing that out with your student, whether they do better with on-screen or do they need an external keyboard. We have the calculators for trial as well. And as it gets closer to testing, start thinking about, you know, what calculator the student needs. I don't believe they have released the calculator guidelines for this year yet, so we will be closely monitoring that and let you guys know, because we know we ran into issues last year right before testing with the calculators. Okay. Nothing is coming up in my chat. Oh, there it is. I scrolled. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. We have one-to-one iPads and many teachers use Google Docs and Drive in the classroom. So Karen, with that, do your students have trouble accessing it if they use a screen reader? Or are they having success? Oh, you've been brailing all the there. If I read a little further, I could see your response. Wow. It's not easily accessible, so you've been brailing all the material. Holy smokes. Okay. So maybe NVDA and a laptop might be an answer, or possibly the Braille Note Touch. Bay County this year, Google, do you have any students that is impacting? Textbooks are online, work is submitted electronically. Wow. Charlotte County has, and I've been learning using the ChromeVox application. Joan, how is the ChromeVox application? I've heard mixed reviews about it. Has anybody else tried using ChromeVox? That's the extension that's a screen reader for Google Chrome. Let's see what Joan has to say about Chromebox. Some days it's good, some days it does not seem to cooperate, but I did read that they're updating the extension based on feedback from users. Yay! That feedback is so important. Same goes for anything that talks about accessibility, from Google to Apple to APH. I hope Chromevox works out, and I hope that they fix the issues that you need fixed. Does Chromevox provide access to, does it manipulate a screen reader like JAWS would? Do you know, Joan? Okay, cool, great. I wasn't sure about that. So yes, you can use commands on the Braille display to manipulate the information on the screen. Oh, and you can create your own commands. That's pretty cool. Cynthia says, my 7th graders use Google Classrooms at school, and for my Braille reader, I'm doing the Brailing because the sync just isn't as good with the Refresh Braille 18 as it could be. I'm assuming that's on a PC, Cynthia? And if it is, could you tell me if you know it's the refreshed Refresh Braille 18, the 3rd generation, or if it's the generation before that? Because you might want to upgrade the refreshable Braille device. It might help. All right, does anybody else have anything to add? Any questions? Any tech issues? All right, we've got some people typing. Great, Kathy. I'm glad to hear that. It's nice when you start the school year off with smooth sailing. Oh, she lost. Oh, it's the 1st generation. Thank you, Becky, for letting me know that. She might want to upgrade. If she wants to try it out, I have one that I can loan to her. Just have her email me. Okay, great. Hi again, Cynthia. I was just telling Becky that if you want to try the refreshed one, the 3rd generation, to email me and I can loan you one to try out to see if it works any better. They did make a lot of improvements, so let me know if you want to try it. Yeah, gotta love technology. It doesn't work when you need it to. All right. If nobody has anything else they'd like to share, we can talk homework. So you have a form to download here. It says the FIMC-VI homework assignment for tech. Download that. It has a few questions for you to answer, and you can input directly onto the form, save it, and email it back to me. It's very, very simple. Just how would you implement what you learned here today, how it will impact your practice with students. Very, very simple, very easy homework assignment. So send that one back to me, and at the end of the year we'll compile all your points and put it together. Remember, you do have to get district approval to receive in-service points. And with that being said, Sharon, I will send you a private little chat with the opening code, because I don't like to say it at the end because then somebody could just fast forward and find it at the end. Nobody here would do that, of course, but you know, it might happen. So I will send you a separate message with that. And with that being said, I'm going to give everyone some time to fill out the evaluations. Please put some thought into the last question. Well, I'll wait. I see somebody typing because I know as soon as I hit that button, it's going to take away the chat box. So let me see what Bridget has to say. And Karen. Okay, great. Yep, I can send you the a private message with the code. Not a problem. And we've got some other people typing. Will you give us the information on Google prior to the next text Thursday somehow, because the next one isn't for a while? Good point, Karen. You know what? We can schedule a time to talk. And that's another thing too, to remind you guys that you don't have to wait for a Tech Thursday to come and ask for technical assistance related to assistive technology. Please feel free to call us anytime. We have Kathy Krumplesky here, me, Darren Porter, and Kay. So please, please, please feel free to call us anytime to get help with assistive technology. Karen, I'm happy to meet with you one-on-one to talk about that. So if you could email me, that would be great. Okay, with that being said then, I'm going to put the survey back on. Oh, helps if I open them. So please answer the last question thoughtfully. What types of technology or specific technologies are you interested in learning more about this year? I thank everyone for logging in today and spending your afternoon with me. I don't see anything happening with this last box. Can everybody see? It's open. Do you see it, Kay? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry guys. Hold on a second. It's saying that it's not open, but it won't let me select open. There we go. Sorry about that. Here's the last question I was talking about. So what types of technology or specific technologies are you interested in learning more about this year? Ooh, Joy Player, yes. And I'll ask that when we get back into the room. I want to know if anybody... Victor Stream. Chromebooks. Whoever wrote about the Chromebooks, oh, now I can't remember who was in. Joan Wilson. So she's using Chromebox. You want to talk to her. Braille Note Touch. More Joy Player. Okay. Ooh, whoever wrote about the Joy Player, I'm curious to know your issues when we get back into the room. JAWS. Oh, yes. If you haven't checked out our recorded webinars in our archives related to JAWS or the iPad, be sure to. And if you have specific questions after that, please, please reach out to us. And then we can do more specific as to what y'all need. Different refreshable Braille displays, the Orbit Reader. Yay! I can't wait to learn more about the Orbit Reader too. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Okay, great. Looks about right. Smart Brailer. Victor Stream. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to end the poll, go back into the room. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining me this afternoon. Does anybody else have any additional questions? Let me... It was Bridget and... Okay. Okay, I know who I need to send codes to. Well, thank you all so much for joining. Really appreciate it. I hope you learned something a little different or you got excited about some new technology coming out. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at any time. You can call me. My direct extension is 7730, so it'd be 813-837-7730, and my email address is awallace@FIMC-VI.org. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you being here. And the closing code is READER, READER. All right, guys, thanks again. I'm going to stop the recording.